Thanks so much for stopping by my channel. I am going to be using, this is a number 2 flat brush and a number 12 flat brush, a number 10 flat brush, and a number 2 script liner. Paints I'm using are Pale Yellow, Cardinal Red, Berry Wine, Happy Green, Thicket, Burnt Umber, Moon Yellow, and Magenta. Also, let's see, Wicker White. And I forgot to mention I am using a dotting stylus for part of the design as well. Today I'm going to continue on with this flower design that I'm painting on this glass candle holder. And I hope that you saw part 1. This is part 2. If you haven't, you might want to check out the link below and hit number 1 up so you can see how I got to this point. I'm going to continue on. Right now on this one I am going to be using the magenta and some of the wicker white and painting in the next part of the design, which is going to call for some fun little designs to be painted in here with this number 2 flat brush. And I'm just going to keep going around the flower and painting these in as I go. And I'll just keep touching and pulling. I can singly load the colors into these or double load it. I'm just doing a little bit at a time, so I'm not really doing any special loading. Just putting paint in the brush and continuing on. And continue to turn the base as I'm working. I ended up doing this as a 2-parter because I felt like it was going to be such a long video to get all this design in. So that's why. I don't always do 2-part videos, but I thought with this one I probably should, just to get, so it's not too long. So basically I'm just pulling, touching and pulling, putting this design around the center of the flowers. I'm going to continue on. I want to make sure I'm getting you in the video here. Pull it down, pull it, pull it. Again, this is a number 1, or number 2 actually, flat brush. And I'll just come around and maybe tap in a little bit more of the white, the wicker white, just so it shows. I mean, that's the thing, is making it more visual is the whole point. And I like to do this. Here we go. So pretty so far, isn't it? Alright, so I'm going to go over. I'm not putting any centers in the partial, the bud looking ones, not putting any centers in those. I'm just going to keep hitting these with the white, the wicker white, and the pink, the magenta. I'm just going around the center. Yeah, definitely have to view my first video to see the supplies that I'm using in this. I'll list them also. They'll be listed underneath the video, so make sure you check that out. Again, this is just meant to be very simple. for anyone to be able to do who likes to paint or wants to try to learn. It's not anything difficult, because I know some of the paintings that I watch, they're beautiful, but it's hard to follow, and so then I get a little frustrated with them myself, so then I don't do them, or I figure out my own way to do them. I guess if that makes sense. Alright, so on this little one over here, we're just going to do what I can see, obviously. I'm just pulling, again, just pulling in here, and just making it a fun center. So that's the thing, when you get ideas, or you're looking at a design, you know, looking at flowers or whatever, you know, try to figure out like how you could incorporate it with your style of painting. That's the thing. It doesn't have to be identical to, you know, the picture you're looking at, the flower itself. You know, make up your own. That's fine. Or it could be a made-up flower. You know, I've had people ask me, what kind of flower is that? Well, sorry, but it's a made-up one. Alright, so the next part of the center is going to be dotting it. And I'm dotting it with the Moon Yellow. I did the base work of the yellow so that there was a background to it and not just clear glass. But I just wanted to paint it in real quickly, let it dry, and then I'm coming back over it. I hit it with a dryer, coming back over it with the dots then. And so there's a base background, so it's not clear. And you know, we'll go from there with it. And I'd love to see if you attempt to paint any of my designs. I'd love to see your results. I do have a Facebook page where you're more than welcome to post on. I'd like to see your work. Alright, so on this I am just going to continue on doing dots. You can make it as full as you want, as minimal as you want. Like, you don't have to fill in the whole light yellow space. As you see, I'm not. And like I said, if you want to put, you know, put more, you can put smaller dots in between. I just like it with some of the dots. It doesn't have to be completely filled. And you can go up a little bit into the pink that we painted, or the pink that I painted. Not sure if you're painting or not. There you go. So far. I'm doing this in a two-part because I thought it was going to end up being too long, and I didn't want it to be that long. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is take some of my paint, and this is the burnt umber. I might even dip a little bit of this into the berry wine and come up with the color for my stem. So I'm doing the Thicket, the happy green, a little bit of the berry wine, the burnt umber, to come up with my stems. Alright, so these will be short stems because my thing is not very long. My glass object that I'm painting on is not very long, but that's okay. And if you want it to be, you know, more opaque, go over it. You can let it dry if you want. But I'm just purely mixing them together and putting them on here. And there, hopefully you see what I'm doing here. And you can be a little bit more careful, like I just painted on that. I can touch that up if I need to. Just depends. I'm going to be painting leaves, so I'm not sure if it's going to require that or not. Oh, I did that wrong. I just have a tendency to pull my stems down. You can go under, you know, however you want. And I just wanted a little bit of brown, so I can go back over it with some green. I can put some the flow medium in here, or the clear medium I should say. The flow medium is very watery. The clear medium is awesome, and I like it a lot. I'm just making it a little bit bigger, a tad bit bigger, like this one is bigger. And you can use your other, like the number 2, you can use it too if you want. I am going to use my little number 2 flat brush for the next part. And the next part is really just putting in the stroke work up here, like say to get this attached to the stem itself. And this is a good piece too to be using to add some more color to your stem. And I'm just rotating colors here, and then just pulling ever so lightly into it. And see, I like when there's some texture to it, so I don't have a problem with it showing texture. And I can even put a little yellow in it. I've been seeing people paint that are using some yellow. Matter of fact, some of them are just using the green and yellow and getting all these variations of colors of green, which I think is awesome. And you can work with this as much as you want. Doesn't have to be overworked. It's fine. Then I'm going to go into the next one here and do the same thing. And again, if you get to where you are getting on the red too much, you can always touch that up. Put a little bit more brown into it. Thicken the branch up a little bit for the stem. Get into the green. I know this is taking a little bit of time. This is one reason why I chose to break them up into 2 different videos. Always make sure, as I mentioned in the first part, that you clean your glassware. My glassware that I'm using is actually reused, so that's why you might see some remnants of my past projects on the glass here, and I try to get it as clean as I can. I'm probably due to maybe venture into some new glassware here, but I do typically just use it for the purpose of doing the videos and wash it off and use it again. But when you're doing yours, you need to make sure that you are cleaning it very well and that you are washing it off or using rubbing alcohol to clean it with. Just make sure that you get all the, any kind of, you know, we have oils in our hand, you know, our bodies and such, that you get that out before you are using it and painting on it. The main reason is so that the paint adheres to glass nicely. Okay, now these are just little leaves that I'm putting up around these, around the little blooms. And I am going to come back up here and just kind of do it again. I just like to concentrate on getting my projects to be opaque looking. And that way too, if you don't know that, then it makes them more durable and sturdy as far as the time that the paint will actually last on the glass. If it's on there thicker, it's going to adhere and be around for a lot longer than if you don't. If you put thick coats or thin coats, they'll scratch off easily. I'm just doing little leaves up here around it. And you can use different colors of green in your projects. You don't have to use all the same color, even if you're going with the Thicket. It's my go-to, always. I just love the Thicket. But then, like I said, I noticed in some of the videos that this one artist was using a lot of yellow with her green. Really was just using one type of green and then mixing her yellow in, and it was beautiful. So I got into maybe tipping it into some yellow. Alright, so then I'm going to go over here. It's kind of dark. I'm going to go over here and just put like a long petal out. Nothing extravagant, just a long petal. And just come back in. I can just put a little stem in it if I want. And then over here I might do some, I'm just going to do some, I'm wiggling, but I'm making like little sharp edges on them and come back. If you see that, hopefully I'm getting on camera here. I got too much paint. Alright, so then I'm going to go, it's a little darker, but again, they don't have to be the same color. It's nice when you have some variation. I'll tell you, the one key I think to working on glass, honestly, is to base coat your glass with something, because it just makes the flow of the paint and I'm going to do, sorry, keep getting off onto little tangents. I'm going to do a little rough edge leaf here too. I'm just wiggling it back and forth very fast, if you can see that. And I can turn it and make it with the darker. Hopefully you saw that. I know I was trying to say something and I got off track here. Sorry. It happens more and more often to me. I'm just putting little stems, and you can also use a like the script liner or a brush like that to put in the lines into your petals for your leaves. I go back up like this. With my lighting here, it's getting a little hard for me to see. Okay, now I'm going back down this on the opposite side. It's a little lighter, and then I can come back in here and do it again over here and come back down. Let's do it again. Let's see what's happening here. The paint, okay, you just wiggle it, and come down. Now on that, you could just leave it alone as if that is the stem that's in there. I'm just going to leave it alone, and then just maybe add a few more. I really not too sure. I think it's probably fine just the way it is, actually. The next thing I'm going to do, though, because I do want to add a few of these, is take my number 2. I'm not even washing it out. It's got some of the light yellow, and I'm going to take some of the, just a whole mixture of the different colors, the brown, the greens, maybe even a tad bit of the yellow, and put it on my brush. And what I'm going to do is just these little viney pieces that are going to come out, and then just kind of wiggle them down. I can come back here and kind of wiggle it like up here, add some green to it. You know, you're just easily doing this, and I like the variation in colors, so it's not all the same. Makes them a little thicker too, which then hopefully you remember what happens when it's thicker. It's more opaque and it's actually more durable. Alright, now I'm looking at it and like that. And I'm going to come over here, do the same thing, and just, you know, like I said, it's just giving a little tad bit more interest, putting some little pieces out to the side here. You can run it through the piece itself. It doesn't have to be through the whole thing. It can be just sporadic. And just come down here. Like that. You can do more, you can do less. I'm just going to stop with it at that. I think it's pretty just that way. And I think I have all of it, everything I needed to put in. Well, one part that I didn't actually do and I just remembered is this over here. I'm just going to leave it alone though. Alright, if you like this, I hope you saw both parts. Again, I will put the link to the first part down below. If you like these videos, please make sure you remember to give me a big thumbs up. New to my channel, hit that subscribe button and notification bell. After you watch this video to the end, underneath the video you'll see a a share button. Hit that share button and share this with all your friends and family on your social network. Alright, until the next time, you have a good one.